Hi guys, and welcome to another video of Naturally Ely. If you watched my first video, then you got a quick introduction into who I am and what this channel is all about. Today I want to talk to you about the why. Why am I deciding to live a more natural life? Why am I taking this journey into the natural living space? Sometimes that why is just as important, if not more important, than the what. So personally, I have a family history of cancers. My mom also had a heart issue and she had a stent put in when I was about 19, 20 years old, which means that I am now only 1 or 2 years away from the age she was when that happened. I'm not going to go too deep into my family history, but I did lose my mom to cancer earlier this year. And about a month later, not even a full month later, I left my job of 17 years. So I've had a lot of upheaval in my life over the last year, and you know that's taken its toll on me. I did kind of fall off my keto for a bit and I put on 10 pounds. So while I was about 10 to 15 pounds away from my goal weight, I then went and added another 10 pounds to that. So I'm around 25 pounds away from my goal weight, but I'm not too worried about that. I've started kind of being a bit more mindful again of what I'm eating, and as long as I really pay attention and keep that willpower, I'm sure I'll be able to lose the weight without a problem. But you know, having a family history of cancer, it makes you start to think. You know, when you lose family member after family member, you start to wonder, is it genetic? Are there things that I can do to prevent that from happening? You know, that kind of thing. So my mom did have the test for the BRCA gene and it did come out negative. So she is not a carrier, which means that my sisters and I are not guaranteed to have cancer. But why tempt fate? Why continue just eating whatever crap is out there that could then potentially make me sick and put me right along the same path that my other family members have gone down? So a natural lifestyle is not keto specific. Keto is just the method that I chose because that's the one that I felt fit my lifestyle best, and it has had some really great results. So you don't have to choose a particular diet, and when I say diet, it's nutrition. It's how you eat on a regular basis. A diet should not be a fad, a trend, something that you do short term and then go back to eating the way you were when you were unhealthy. So when you hear me refer to diet is your day-to-day way of eating. So whether you follow a keto diet, a paleo diet, a vegan diet, a vegetarian diet, a low-carb diet, a high, whatever your diet that you choose to follow, there are just some things that you need to keep in mind so that you can live a natural life. And again, all of those kind of fall under natural living, but none of them are specific to it. And you know, in order to live a natural life, you don't have to follow one set diet plan. What you do need to be mindful of is what you're ingesting. You want to be sure to read the nutrition labels and the ingredients on the products that you get. You want to stay away from any processed food. You want to stay away from things that you can't even pronounce, because those are usually, you know, chemicals that you don't need to be ingesting. You want to stay away from carcinogens, and carcinogens are cancer-causing agents. Carcinogens can be found in things like canned food, hot dogs, cold cuts, you know, anything that goes through a process to extend its life and has preservatives and all these other things in them. Those are carcinogens. So you want to stay as far away from those things as you can, because while those things are put in the food to extend the life of the food, they actually do the opposite for us. So you want to be mindful of the sugars that you take in. You want to be mindful of, you know, like I said, things that you can't even pronounce. One of the first changes I made before I decided on what diet I was going to follow was to remove bleached flour from my life, because, you know, why are we adding bleach to something that we consume? It should not be in our diets. I started using unbleached flour, and so something as simple as that. You can just substitute some things that you're using right now for more healthy, natural alternatives. You want to try to go organic whenever possible. That means that your foods are not grown with chemical pesticides that can be harmful to you. You want to try to go grass-fed with your meats if you're going to eat meats, rather than grain-fed. So there's a lot of things you can do in terms of food. Obviously, if you can grow your own food, that would be the best way to go, but not everybody can do that. I live in an apartment, as I've said before, so it's not like I can have a garden bed sitting on the side where I can grow all of my fruits and vegetables. I am trying to grow some things. I have a cucumber plant and I've started growing some tomatoes, so we'll see how that goes. I have basil that I've grown that's flourishing right now, so I've expanded out to try and grow some garlic on my own. So even if you live in an apartment, even if you live in the city, there are ways that you can try and grow some of your own foods so that you know what's going into your body. If you're growing it, you know whether or not a pesticide was used. You know whether or not it really truly is organic. And that, living more self-sustainably is the key to the natural living. You also want to be mindful of products that you come in contact in terms of, like your deodorants. Deodorants are full of toxins and things that can be harmful to you, so you want to try to stay away from all the chemicals in deodorants. I've been making my own deodorant. I've been using it for a little over a month now, so I will do a separate video on that and showing you how to make it and giving you my feedback on and how I've been doing with using my own deodorant. I've been making my own lip balm, so again, I know what is going into the products that I'm putting not only in my body but on my body as well. In terms of cleaning your house, you want to make sure that you're not using harmful chemicals. Like, if you're wiping down your kitchen counter with all these chemicals, they can still get into your food. So you could be buying all this great, healthy, organic food, and then you're putting it on a counter that's been cleaned and treated with chemicals that are now going to be absorbed into your food. So you want to be mindful of things like that. You can very easily make your own cleaning products. I'll have videos on that, on how you can make some cleaning products that you can use at home that are natural. Essential oils have so many benefits in terms of your body, your cleaning. You can use it for aromatherapy, because aromatherapy, sometimes just smelling certain smells, can help you be calm and relaxed and relieve your stress, and stress is another trigger for for health issues. So you want to just be mindful of all of those things. I will tell you that over the course of the last 2 years, I am the healthiest that I have been in a long time. I was diagnosed, as I mentioned in the first video, with asthma when I was about 5 years old. So I lived a very long time having asthma attacks with the change of seasons, specifically when you're going from winter to spring and from summer to fall. Those are the worst seasons. You have the flowers blooming and then the flowers dying. Something about that change of weather really triggers asthma pretty badly. About 10 years ago, I started getting laryngitis. It would start as a tickle in my throat. I would cough. I tried to treat it with Halls. That would just make it 10 times worse. I would then go from having laryngitis to having a horrible cold and asthma. I then switched from Halls to Luden, so that kind of helped a little bit, so I wasn't always getting a cold or asthma directly after laryngitis, but I was still getting the laryngitis. About 2 or 3 years ago, I got the flu for the second time. I do not get the flu shot. I am not an advocate of the flu shot. The flu shot is just a strain of the flu that you don't know if it's the same strain that's going to be coming out. So a lot of times it makes your body weaker and more susceptible to the flu that's coming through, because if it's a different strain of the flu, it's not going to fight the flu the way it's supposed to after having the flu shot. You can make the decision for yourself, but I personally do not get it. I don't get it from my kids either. My son is also an asthmatic. My kids have never gotten the flu, thank God, knock on wood. But I'm not an advocate of the flu shot. It's a strain of the flu, not necessarily the strain that's going to be coming. So since I've made this transition into natural living, I have not had a single cold. I have not had asthma. Even my allergies are extremely minimal. I might get a tiny bit of a stuffy nose, not even really. I have dry eyes, which get irritated during the change of seasons as well. I've kind of gotten a little bit of the dryness, but not so much of the irritation. My eyes haven't swollen. My eyes used to swell like tennis balls sometimes during those allergy seasons. So again, switching to natural living, your body reacts better to things. I am healthier than I've been in a long time. I can sense when I'm eating something I shouldn't be eating. For example, I love Dunkin' lattes, and they are horrible for you. But recently I had one and ended up with the worst headache possible. And usually you get that type of headache when you're going through like caffeine and sugar withdrawal. So this was the first time that I had the actual opposite, where having the caffeine and sugar gave me the headache. So I kind of wanted to do an experiment, and I had another one the very next day, which I try not to have that back to back like that, but I had it the next day, and the next day again, horrible headache. So for the last 2 days I've been drinking tea instead of coffee in the morning, not even coffee that I make myself at home, which wasn't giving me those headaches, and I haven't had a headache for the last 2 days. So could be a coincidence. I really don't think so. I think something in those was triggering that headache. So you need to learn to listen to your body. Your body will tell you, when you need something, when you need to lay off of something. Sometimes what you're craving is not necessarily what you need. So there's a lot of information out there on the web to tell you, if you're craving chocolate, then it may be something else that you're needing in your diet. So you can look that up also. If you're saying, I have this really strong craving for something, and what is it that my body is missing that my brain is telling me this will substitute for it. So yeah, that's pretty much why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to be able to live a very long and healthy life. I always said I wanted to have my kids young so that I can be able to get down on the floor with them and do stuff with them and, really enjoy my kids. And I did have them early. I was 20 and 22 when I had my kids. I didn't always, get things right. I didn't always put in the time with them that I would have wanted to. There's a lot of things that I missed out on because I was working so hard at this company and sacrificing my time and energy that I could have been giving to my kids to do this work at a company, and then in the long run they don't even appreciate what you're sacrificing. So we all have bills to pay. We all do need to make some sacrifices, but I learned early enough to put that time in with my kids and spend that time with them. And I want to be able to do the same for my grandkids and hopefully my great-grandkids. And I can't do that if I'm eating poorly and my health is failing because of the things that I'm eating. So I am 41 years old, so I'm starting this journey kind of late in life. But any little bit helps. If I can extend my life a few years longer because of this, I'm happy to do that. Obviously, starting younger means you'll be on a better path earlier on, and it could be too late for me. I could have done irreversible damage, who knows. But I want to make sure that the rest of my days here are spent happier and healthier than before. So that is the why behind Ellie on her journey to a natural living. So I hope you connect and you found something there that you understand and want to continue joining me on my journey. So until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if there's any questions that you have, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I will try to address whatever I can. And if there's any topics you want me to cover on my vlog or any products you want me to review, etc., just again leave the comments below and I will get back to you when I can. All right, thank you. Bye.